So, Gary, I had a thought for today, if you would concur. I would
Concurring is always a positive option when I enter the Tune-In Tone-Up studio.
Yeah, quite a studio of sorts.
Yes.
The brightest, lightest studio you'll ever find.
Yeah.
I had a little thought. We'd sort of examined some unusual scales, had we not?
Yep.
So I wanted to look at their application.
Sounds good.
Indeed. It's a question I get asked a lot. Before I do, I need to do a quick shout out.
Go on.
I do.
Yeah, good plan.
So, Gary and I have been given these compression wraps for musicians by Wrist Grips. And we're going to try them out. According to the details here, it says decreased pain, swelling and soreness, relief from carpal tunnel issues, discomfort from repetitive stress. So, we're going to try them out, apparently, looking at the packaging there.
Shall we stick in a little closer to the camera?
Yes, let's do that.
Thank you very much there for this. Obviously, it's back to the front, isn't it? So, no point in doing that.
So, we're going to try those out, and we're going to get back to you on that one and let you know what we think. I've had 2 carpal tunnel operations. Yep. Gary's had his own set of nerve problems recently, which has curtailed some playing, unfortunately. And when you play enough, I think you'd agree, Gaz, it's one of those things that kind of goes with the territory to a degree. You know, if you're a vocalist, you can easily lose your voice or have damage if you're a guitar player and you overdo it. Yeah. You know, you can get carpal tunnel problems. So we're going to try it out. I've had, as I say, 2 carpal tunnel operations. Wasn't funny. So I'm going to try that out.
For me, it was probably the weight of the guitar, and I'm going to be trying a harness strap. So we'll just see how that goes. Sounds dodgy, I know, folks.
So you're going to be looking like one of those window cleaners that works on the 27th floor.
It's not going to look the coolest, but hopefully it'll keep you
got your bucket and squeegee, where'd you want it?
The
other thing, I'm going to do a little shout out to my good friend Damien Ford, who works for Dynamic Distribution. Thank you for hooking me up with these Kurt Mangan strings. It's done me a nice little artist deal on those, and I've been using these recently. I really like them.
Yeah.
Try them, folks. They're not the cheapest strings, but I think they are actually, from the point of view of feel and so forth, and stability, in terms of like, you know, kind of getting bedded in very quickly, about as good as they get. And they sound and feel amazing. They really do. They do feel good. They feel a little more bendy.
Yeah.
For your poundage. So if you use 10s and you find those a little bit stiff, or you use 11s and you find them a little bit stiff, try the Kurt Mangans. They also do in between gauges like 9.5 and 10.5.
Yeah.
So you can always, if you're finding 11s too heavy and 10s too light, or you're kind of dancing between the Strat and the Les Paul and the different scale lengths, make an impact. Worth a try. Give them a try. They're really great.
Yeah, there's one other thing as well, isn't there? And that's that we made the best guitar podcast of all time, according to...
How could I forget?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
that's it.
Thank you very much to, I think his name is John, and I think it's called... Is his company Sure Pick Grips or something like that?
I think it was Sure Grips. Yeah, Sure Grip Picks, I think it is.
We'll get that right next time and give him another shout out. Yeah, we came in at number 47 with a really nice write-up.
Yeah.
He gets us. We like it.
He does. So what we're talking about, as we mentioned earlier, is the unusual scale choices and where to use them. Now, this got thrown up by another pupil I was teaching yesterday.
By a dog at some stage.
Thrown up by a dog.
Yeah, sorry.
Dog and vom joke.
Call back to a previous episode.
That's it. You have to just spool through the last 36, 37 episodes until you find the dog throwing up episode. It was brought up, should I say, by a pupil yesterday, which was application. He said, well, I've got these unusual scales now, and that's great. That takes an entire lesson up right there. But I want to know how to use them, where to use them. Because with so many scales, I think you'd agree, in the right situation, we can pretty much get a scale that fits with the chords fit with the scale, and away you go. Obviously, within that, you can choose good notes and not so good notes. But for example, you're playing over the blues scale and the minor pentatonic, or in places maybe the major pentatonic. You can take that scale, take those shapes, and away you go.
Yeah.
However, unusual scales are not quite as easy to apply. So, first one we're going to look at is the the melodic minor.
Okay, cool.
So the melodic minor is very, very unusual.
Because it's got a major third, hasn't it? Is it? No.
It's got a major 7 with a minor third. And also a major 6. So it goes root, second, flat third, 4, 5, 6 rather than a flat 6, 7 rather than a flat 7.
Yes.
And then has the root note, obviously the octave up on the end. So it's a bit of a strange one. If you're in the key of A, we're going A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, back to A. So you've got the jump from D to E, E to F sharp to G sharp. So several kind of tone leaps in one hit. So it's almost got in places a little essence of the whole tone scale there, which is what's making it sound strange.
Right.
Now this isn't really a scale you can just take and run with and blast over anything. Doesn't really work very well that way. But the thing with scales is we have to have a name for different note combinations.
Right.
Really, we have to have some kind of naming system. Even if we're only going to use that scale for certain things, even if we're only going to use that scale, say, here and there,
yeah,
we need to kind of give it a name. It can't just be like a bunch of different notes that kind of work. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the situations under which the scale might work.
Right, gotcha.
The chords which are brought up by having the different note selections also changes the batting order somewhat.
Yeah, I'm just trying to spot that as is. It's not so easy, is it? We've got some weird sort of things, haven't you?
Well, for a start, obviously you've got A minor is going to be A minor. That is what it
A minor works.
is. But your B diminished isn't going to work because it's got F in it.
A minor over major 7.
So your B diminished as in your sort of B, F, D, B. So that doesn't quite work. But the F sharp means a B minor, and that does work because the F is now replaced with an F sharp.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. C, we have got the G in the C.
Yeah, we've got G sharp, haven't we?
If we make the G as G sharp, we get that kind of sound which is augmented, so a C augmented.
Okay.
Your D, because the F is only the only rogue, instead of D minor we get a D.
Have D7.
You could have D7. Your E minor in the key becomes an E because, of course, the G is a G sharp now.
G sharp, yeah. Okay.
F no longer really figures, but what you can get is an F sharp diminished. So you have 10, 9, 10, 11, 10. And if you go a couple of frets higher, you've then got G sharp diminished as well, which also fits within the key. And then you're back to A minor again. Now, without wishing to kind of overcomplicate things.
You got the 7th then, haven't you? I suppose. Yeah.
With chords, you could go on and on and on. I mean, as a
Yeah.
kid, I had a chord dictionary, and it was pretty scary when it said on the front, "Oh, there's over 2,400 chords in here."
Yeah.
Of course, it's almost limitless.
We're just thinking about you can't have an A minor 7, can you? Because you've got the G, so you need to have an A minor over. Is it?
Well, what you could
No,
do.
wrong. A minor, major 7 or something.
Where it would work, though, I mean, we're going to get into something a little more simple first.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So
But if you think about
we're also a bit time limited, aren't we? We shouldn't be.
a little,
Yeah.
but we're going to try and give people the usable morsels.
Okay.
You sometimes get this chord progression. We've all heard it.
Sounds a bit like Still Got the Blues or something like
Or
that.
Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven, yeah. Yeah.
So we've basically got an A minor.
Yeah.
Then we've got an A minor, which we've added the G sharp to.
Yeah.
Now you can either have it like Stairway, where it's a root dropping down, or you can have it within your A minor chord, so you end up with an A major minor 7.
Yeah, and that's
Or
how
A
you-
major minor chord kind of thing.
There's another way of dropping this in. No, that's not right. Must be there. That's
That's an
right,
A
mate.
major 7.
Minor 7, minor. That one is there. Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I should have known that.
That's all right. So the A minor going to a sort of a major minor chord.
Yeah.
We've got a minor third and a major 7, so a major minor 7 that's called. So we've dropped a note within it. If you then go to the minor 7, which adds the G, so you've got that line going down,
Yeah.
and then to a D, D7, so now the F sharp is in play. And you could use those as root notes like you do in Stairway.
Yeah.
Or you could use those within the confines of those chords. The only rogue then is in the G.
Yeah.
So when you get to the G, you just make sure you swap your G sharp out for a G natural.
Yeah.
So you're essentially sort of playing like
Dorian.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try that in terms of playing over the top of a progression like that, because it's one of those progressions that could sort of fox you in a way. So I want to play the chords while you try some harmonic minor over the top of it.
Where's the G again? It's
So it's there on the 5th fret of the D string is where we're gonna put the G. So that's where you need to change.
Gotcha,
So
yeah,
the third chord in out of the 4.
and the D's not right, so it's only that one, isn't it?
That's
So,
it.
Okay, all right. No, I missed it. Sorry.
So what I would do as well is when you're on the A minor, we have to be a little careful of the G sharp, just like we'd be careful of the blues note. So we might sort of slide into. So there's our second chord. Minor 7, D7. So it does sound a little strange.
It does sound a
but
little strange. It's a bit awkward.
It is. You
I'm
still
avoiding
have
the
to
higher notes.
sort of select your notes kind of well.
That's G sharp there, isn't it? now it's done.
If you play me the chords,
Yeah.
if you're happy to do that, and I'll give you a sort of an example. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So again, you have to be a little bit careful, and you may even be passing through that scale momentarily, because you might find that some of the notes are just a little too jarring.
Maybe I should funk up a little bit, the backing for it. Let's do that again.
Okay. 2, 3, 4. So it does have some weirdness to it.
Yeah.
But you can see how if you were kind of careful, you could actually use it quite well.
Yeah, sounds good.
You might find as well, if you're faced with a situation where maybe you're writing music for a film.
Yes, okay.
Often I hear music for films, and of course I was saying to the guy last night, it's written for the film, for that particular scene. Written, with that in mind. Yeah, often the scales which I use, maybe say for a thriller or a horror, might be more jarring.
Hey, there was a good example on Reddit the other day of somebody playing. Do you know Stranger Things? Have you seen that?
I haven't, no.
It's very, very good, but it's literally might be worth going out and checking it out. But it's literally just arpeggios. He goes like a C major 7 arpeggio, plays through that, then a C minor 7 arpeggio, then a C diminished arpeggio, and then back to the C major, or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, it's quite a good use of it, and that's a horror essentially. Yeah, it's got a jarring, major to minor kind of weird sound to it.
I mean, if you were doing something more film music-y, just pending between those two chords. You do that? Just those two chords. I'll come up with a sort of hopefully a haunting melody.
So any horror aficionado filmmakers out there that want we're happy to work.
I mean, you
Dan.
you can sort of hear how you could use it in that kind of context.
Oh, that sounds good.
Also, if you had maybe a tune where you're going from A minor to the D, B minor to the E. So A minor, D, B minor, E. Places like that you could use it as well.
Yeah. That's cool.
As I say, you have to kind of go a little bit tentative with these things and sort of often kind of mix them in with other sort of scales.
Yeah.
You know, you often find on their own they might be quite weird and maybe not every note's going to be a winner.
Yeah.
But sort of mix maybe the sort of melodic minor in with your standard natural minor.
Yeah, and
or even
pentatonic often, isn't it, as well? Just to
that's right,
as a sort of safety net.
That's right.
Yeah.
Something else that works really, really well. One of the modes of the melodic minor is your Locrian sharp 4. So simply put, if I was playing a blues, so I've got my first chord, say A, second chord, say D, third chord, say E.
Yeah.
Over the E, if I played, it's going to sound very strange, F melodic minor with E as the root, I would have the Locrian sharp 4.
Ah, there you go. Nice.
So you would get a sort of that kind of sound.
Okay, so I'm just playing major blues.
I'm going to use it over the last chord. Simply put, if you're doing something jazzy, I mean, it sounds a little strange over that kind of blues, I guess, but it would work.
Yeah.
It sort of fits really well over a 7 sharp 5 chord. So a seventh chord, in this case E7, 14-13. So there's two kind of places where it would work. One at the end of some sort of turnaround. I think especially if you're doing something really funky, maybe something kind of a little fusiony.
Yeah. It's got the G sharp chords, yeah, so okay, that as well. So it's essentially the same. Similar chord to what I was doing there.
Yeah, I mean even over a straight 7.
Yeah.
Still works.
Yeah.
It's got a very jazzy, unusual sound, but it does work.
Yeah.
The other place you can use it, if you are playing something fairly funky that sits in a static way, or even anything rocky and sits in a static place, you know. I'm just doing like an A minor 7 kind of vamp.
Sorry.
Anything static like that.
Yeah, rhythmically that was quite tough for me. I'd like to hang on before you had to solo over.
But with something like that, you know, you could play it fairly straight with your Dorian and your blues and pentatonic. Throwing a bit of the lot 4. Sounds suitably odd.
Yeah. Took me a while to get my rhythm in, but once I did,
you went away.
Yeah, it's good.
So you can use that sort of approach there.
Yeah.
As with all scales, I would always advocate mix and match every time.
Yeah.
You know, and also you've got to ask yourself, what kind of sound do I want to produce?
Yeah.
There's no point in playing something for the sheer hell of it if you don't like that sound.
You kind of got to play within your limits as well, haven't you, I think?
Know your limits.
Yeah, knowing your limits. I think that's something I'm learning. It's weird, isn't it? It's like as you kind of get a little bit better. I think as I listen back to some of the earlier episodes, I realise I've actually improved. But as you get a little bit better, you start realising that you don't want to do almost as much of the complicated stuff when the stakes are high. You want to get...
It's interesting. I texted a guy today who had a lesson back in February, and they said, "Oh, I'm off on holiday, and can I come back in March?" Sure, So I thought I'd send him a courtesy text, just say, "Oh, you're interested in booking more lessons." And he said he was giving up because he was so frustrated.
No way.
And I said to him, "That's a real shame." I said, because I firmly believe everyone can improve and get better.
Yeah.
And I said, really, when you play, especially when you're just getting to grips with things, don't expect too much, and don't expect too much from yourself. It's good to push, and it's good to feel like you can push and improve, but you're going to do your head in if you expect to get miracles overnight.
Yeah.
And I said to him how guitar playing often, probably like so many things in life, I'm sure it doesn't sit alone in this regard. It kind of has plateaus to it. You learn something new, it projects you to the next level, the next plateau, and you can stay there for a week, 2 weeks, 6 months, 20 years. I've seen some players stay there and not really learn much beyond their, what they've done. There was a saying a friend of mine had, which was, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got.
Yeah, I like that.
And there is some truth in that.
Yeah.
If you don't push the boundaries, if you don't try and improve, then don't sit there and expect improvement. But at the same time, don't be unreasonable on yourself, especially when you're starting out. Remember that you're not going to make it sound like it's got professional polish overnight. Even when I was been playing quite a few years, 6, 7, 8 years, I tried to make my playing sound as professional as possible, but everything you realise, from controlling the guitar to getting good sounds to listening to the rest of the band, and also sometimes being held back or projected forward by how good or not so good the musicians you play with are. All of these things have an impact on how you'll develop as a player. I would always choose to play with people who are better than me, really, so that I have to step up to the plate and I have to bring it and I have to deliver. But at the same time, that's after years and years and years of carving a certain niche for myself with music. When you're starting out, you have to certainly kind of remember that there are goals that are really soon. There's things I could give you, and you go and play them at a pub gig that night after sitting down with the guitar for a short period of time, and you'd be chuffed. Oh, great. Oh, I pulled off something that I didn't pull off before. I'm really happy, and it wasn't a lot of effort. It was just really a different angle. It wasn't something I couldn't play. There'll be other things that in 15 years, we'll still be sitting there thinking,
scratching our heads.
Oh, God, Dad. So I still can't quite, But that's guitar.
30-second notes mixed with a few or whatever.
That's what keeps us coming back.
That's right, yeah.
In a way. One last thing I want to have a quick look at, which I think could be quite an interesting one as well.
Yeah, okay.
While we're in a minor mood, is looking at harmonic minor.
Yeah, okay.
Arguably, I would say harmonic minor is less jarring and easy to deal with.
Yeah.
But let's look at the notes, actually. Sorry, before I go off into one. So here, the difference over a normal minor scale is the seventh note is raised by half a step.
Yeah.
So 1 fret. So in the key of A, you get A.
It's all the same, isn't it?
It is to a point. That's right. B, C, D, E, F, G sharp.
There it is.
And really, where it sort of affects things is, okay, in all fairness, you could write, an entire progression around the harmonic minor if you want to. In chord terms, your D minor would actually be a D diminished.
Yeah.
Minor would be an E, for example. So anywhere there's a G, it would get replaced with a G sharp.
Yeah. Okay.
In essence, where you tend to get this sort of progression is, or progression which sort of supports this scale choice, is where you've got a normal A minor progression and a more dramatic fifth chord, the major chord, is used over the minor. Think of the Mamas and Papas, California Dreaming. It goes A minor, G, F, E sus4, E.
Yeah.
So over that E, because you've got the G sharp, the harmonic minor fits perfectly.
Yeah.
But the harmonic minor doesn't necessarily fit perfectly in the other places.
So the other two got G.
Because you've got a G sharp. So you've got A minor, F, G,
F.
F, E sus4,